Times of trouble are always times for change. Everything seems new, unbelievable, and something that you only see in blockbusters. Let's go back a few weeks. Imagine someone telling you that the world is going to change within a month. Would you have believed that? Well, probably not. I mean, who would have imagined that a virus that spread from a cluster in the capital of China's Hubei province to a pandemic that killed more than 170,000 people around the world so far? The world feels terribly strange right now, not only because things have changed so fast, but also because the past few weeks have unfolded the fact that anything and everything can always change at any minute. But is this change here to stay? It's not unimaginable that social distancing has helped us understand climate change differently. Since the virus has reduced the number of vehicles on the road and obstructed industrial activities, air pollution has drastically reduced. People around the world are talking about the sweet smell of fresh air, birds chirping in the neighborhood, and the sight of rare marine life, and all this in the midst of a disaster. But people are still taking time to adapt to certain changes. It has been noted that social distancing will change our way of life even after the lockdown period. Does this mean the world will never go back to normal? Well, a number of businesses will be affected by the virus and social distancing, while the official 12 to 18-month timeframe still stands to develop a vaccine. Schools have been closed down and exams have been stalled. In certain countries, landlords are not allowed to collect rent and banks are not collecting mortgage payments. Millions of people around the world are out of work. Governments are splurging some of the largest economic stimulus packages in history. The homeless are staying in hotels free of charge. The virus has also affected the global supply chain of material goods. Almost all public events and gatherings have been cancelled for at least the next few months. Film production has been put on hold, and many new release dates have been pushed back. All sectors of the entertainment industry are on hold. Restaurants, movie theatres, cafes, bars, recreational centres, gyms, malls, and airlines have been shut. There could most likely be a major impact on the economy due to the stress on many businesses. The political and economic nature of the entire planet is likely to change over the coming months. Social distancing can further cause economic devastation and market instability that can cause a change in employment rates and currency value. Many small and medium businesses could close down. The hospitality and travel industry will never be the same. Large portions of the world are likely to be affected by COVID-19. Therefore, adapting to the change and maintaining social distance could work well for society in the long run. It will help reduce the pressure on our current healthcare system so that they can focus on a limited number of cases at a time. However, experimental COVID-19 inoculations for high-risk groups have started, but as mentioned earlier, the 12 to 18-month timeframe still stands for the vaccine to be offered to the public. Though the vaccine could be the end of the pandemic, it is hard to imagine going back. We live online now. Video conferencing with friends and family has started gaining popularity. Whether it is a workout session or streaming a movie together online, businesses are conducting meetings online through Zoom, which has blossomed during this period. There is a strong possibility that offices will not revert back to the usual when this world turns back on. Imagine the stress of going to work, hanging out at a cafe, shopping at a mall, or even taking public transport with the fear of contracting the virus. It may just be a matter of time, or a change we've all been waiting for. Some believe it is a once-in-a-generation change in order to build a better future. But for many, it has been a turmoil of emotions. But have you ever wondered what important lessons we have learned? Well, as the world strives to adapt to the new normal, we'll give you 10 life lessons we've learned from the COVID-19 outbreak. 'Cause why not? Everything in life has a takeaway. 1. Diseases know no borders, no gender, no race, no language or face. Let's face the facts. You could be anyone, the highest ranked in order, or absolutely a commoner. A disease understands none of this. It could affect anyone, anybody, and almost anywhere. It has made us a bit more humble and empathetic to each other in the simplest of manners, teaching us that we are all equally and similarly exposed to this virus, and one must respect each other at such times, and respect life above all the distinctions created by humans. 2. It is okay to trade your freedom for the greater good of humankind. It's simple. If you go out, do wear a mask, maintain social distancing, and take necessary precautions. We should not go out and attract trouble, but rather stay at home. Yes, we understand, socializing is a key part of who we humans are, but this pandemic has forced us to make sudden and drastic changes to our lifestyles, and this will be our new normal for a while now. So, trade a little of your freedom for the greater good. 3. Wash your hands, virus or not. It's better to be safe than sorry. What has this disease taught us most importantly? To be hygienic and stay clean. Well, we took hygiene for granted and never really gave a thought to how many times we used to wash our hands in a day, what we touch, or how to keep ourselves sanitized. Virus or not, let's make this a regular habit. Let's make sure we maintain staying clean and healthy and lessen the chances of falling ill. 4. Working from home should be an option for many. This new normal might just become standard practice, at least for some employees, even after the COVID-19 situation is resolved. A lot of the workforce across the globe has moved to a work-from-home model to keep their services and workflow uninterrupted. Experts say some companies are likely to move to work from home permanently. If that is an option, take it, follow it, and this will definitely contribute to a lesser crowd outside that commutes. The lesser, the merrier. 5. Don't take any sickness lightly, ever. No sickness should ever be taken lightly. Patients should immediately consult their doctors in case of any symptoms that they experience. If you are feeling unwell, it is a must to approach the healthcare facilities as soon as you can, and by doing so, you'll be taking care of yourself and your family members too. 6. Respect doctors and medical staff. Those in the white coats are like gods and our heroes. This pandemic battle is led by an army of medical doctors, nurses, paramedics, and researchers. They are fighting a war on multiple fronts, and the least we could do for them is respect them and cooperate. We often take medical staff and our caretakers for granted, but these times have taught us to be thankful to them for their time, patience, and dedication. 7. Survival of the smartest. While most of us faced lockdown during these times, life has taught us how to deal with lots of problems, such as lack of essentials, and learning to manage household chores and more. Well, most of us should know how to cook, and these were the best times everyone indulged in learning, and by doing so, surviving. Make the most you can with the least you have. Indeed, survival of the smartest is the new normal. 8. The importance of talking to your friends and family. Man has always been stuck with his routine, running around, working to make it big and whatnot. While being locked down at home, we've managed to connect with our families again. Even so, we've bonded with our friends over video calls and taken the time to talk to them. Well, it's nice to stop and appreciate our loved ones for once. 9. Learn to appreciate nature. Lockdown has brought to our notice how clear the sky is, how beautiful the air is when not polluted, how wonderful nature can be when not disturbed or meddled with. Mother Earth needed a vacation too, and the coronavirus is definitely helping her heal. Let's always continue to do so, and make sure we maintain the eco-balance and give love to our planet. 10. Learn to love yourself. Self-introspect. Well, we all have been living far beyond what we thought we wouldn't be able to make it through times. This virus has made us realize that most of what we thought matters doesn't really matter. We don't really need a lot of loud places and people around us all the time to make things elevated or make-believe happy. Yes, we can stop our clock for a bit and indulge in knowing ourselves a little better, and not always rushing to race against time and forgetting ourselves in the bargain. On that note, let's hope for a positive and a better tomorrow, and be thankful for small joys that keep us alive and kicking. Stay safe, stay healthy. These last few months have been very difficult for everyone around the globe, with the COVID-19 pandemic that affected all of us. But we're slowly working towards a better tomorrow and embracing the new normal. However, while being locked at home, we are sure there may be things that you missed a lot, like going out for a long drive, watching a movie in a theatre, going for a vacation, or a beautiful evening at a wonderful restaurant eating your favourite food. Yes, we all miss that one, don't we? And we can't help but get curious and wonder as to what it would be like to dine out post-COVID-19. Let's find out how eating out has been impacted and will look like in a world post-coronavirus. The coronavirus had restaurant sales plunging, from low-priced fast food chains to high-end restaurants. Yes, the food industry has suffered quite a lot. Experts say it will never be the same again. But what next? How are they surviving, and will they ever reopen? As restaurants shut down, owners had to make the difficult decision of letting go of employees as they could no longer afford their salaries. Thousands of people lost their jobs in a blink of an eye, with no other means of income. With no clarity about the situation, employers and employees both feel like they're in a fix, with no one to turn to for help. Ultimately, all restaurants are hoping that they can make it to the day when they can reopen dining rooms and customers return. And until then, some restaurants are merely surviving by providing takeout and delivery options, while taking utmost care of hygiene. But how long can this go on for? What are the setbacks restaurants can face even after COVID-19 passes? Restaurants are among the hardest hit businesses in the pandemic, and they're one of several industries that will face major hurdles in getting customers comfortable coming back. Suddenly, people will have this feeling that they don't want their food touched by anyone anymore. Moreover, people have realized that they can live without restaurants, as there are more people cooking at home and actually enjoying it. There is growing apprehension that the restaurants have lost their appeal on a deeper level amongst customers. New rules for restaurants post-COVID-19. Even when we are finally on the other side of COVID-19, people will still fear being in crowded places. So, to survive the post-COVID-19 times, and when restaurants are finally allowed to open, they will have to completely change existing ways of functioning by establishing new norms of how to handle customers and make them feel safe. Here are some of the potential changes we will be seeing in restaurants. 1. Spaced out tables and the end of cozy seating arrangements. 2. Reduction in the number of tables by almost half. 3. Minimizing human contact as much as possible by using digital ordering and payment methods that don't require cash handling or credit cards. 4. No buffet services. 5. Workers may wear a mask and gloves at all times and disinfect and sanitize all surfaces frequently. 6. Temperature checks at the door could become commonplace. 7. Disposable menus will replace normal menus and utensils will be individually wrapped. 8. More premium takeout and delivery options with safety seals on containers. 9. There could be no more sharing of plates among friends or colleagues. 10. Cleaner, not cheaper food. Consumers will be more mindful of quality ingredients cooked and served in clean and hygienic conditions, and hence, restaurants must keep up. Restaurants bring together different cultures and people and help people to connect better. All we can do is hope that restaurant businesses make it through this difficult time. It will not be a quick snapback as people resume their lives around the world. However, with a gradual restart when we are past all this, we hope we can see our favourite restaurants back on their feet. And until then, let's enjoy the new normal we're given and appreciate each day as it comes. Due to the coronavirus, the world has witnessed a lockdown like never before. But for how long can this lockdown be prolonged? Even though the social and political consensus are supporting the lockdown to avoid the spread of the coronavirus, in some cases it has been overtaken by public frustration, leading to protests in the US and other countries due to an urgent need to reopen economies. Even if the lockdown was to be lifted, people would still need to strictly comply with social distancing measures until a vaccine has been developed. But unfortunately, this is unlikely for another 6 to 12 months. During that time, imagine if we were to start using crowded public transport, shop at a busy shopping mall, dine out at our favourite restaurants, attend public events and go to cinemas, where we would be forced to sit next to one another. Wouldn't this put us at risk of contracting the virus? Does this mean that if countries start to ease out the restrictions on the lockdown imposed, that there would be a second wave of this pandemic? Well, history would repeat itself. In 1918, there were 3 waves of the influenza pandemic. The second wave killed more than 50 million people and was far more devastating than the first. Flu pandemics have also experienced multiple outbreaks, including the H1N1 influenza, which started in April 2009 and had its second outbreak in the fall of the same year. Over the past week, many countries have considered plans to begin relaxing the coronavirus restrictions. However, the Centre for Disease Control believes that there is a risk in loosening the restrictions too soon, since another outbreak of the virus could spark this coming winter. And the scary part is that the second wave could be even more dangerous than the first, because it would take place during the flu season. In many countries, the flu is common during winter, fall, and monsoon seasons, as it is generally wet and cold. It is that time of the year when hospitals are generally at their busiest and are designed to deal with the seasonal surge. However, if the second wave of coronavirus were to break out, it could disrupt the system and put additional strain on healthcare systems. The flu is common in high-risk groups that have been hit hard with COVID-19. This includes people above the age of 65 and those with existing respiratory conditions. Both the flu and COVID-19 affect the respiratory system and cause fever, but not much is known on how the two diseases can be differentiated. There would be cases where people who have the flu but may believe they have COVID-19 and as a result waste a large number of highly needed test kits. China has allegedly controlled the outbreak in the Hubei province after it had reported almost 0 new cases and transmissions over the last few weeks. They were the first to lift the ban on the restrictions imposed, while the rest of the world was watching to see if they could avoid a second outbreak. However, they have recently reported an increase of COVID-19 cases in the city of Harbin, located to the northeast of China, approximately 2,000 kilometers from Wuhan, thus resulting in new lockdowns. This raises the questions for other countries over when and how to ease the restrictions in order to avoid a second wave. Health professionals believe prevention and precaution is always the best approach. Though the second wave and consequent peak within the phase of a pandemic is technically different from the first, the threat is the same, and that is, the disease has effectively come back. Multiple wave outbreaks have been studied in depth, and the prevention of any subsequent waves of infection has been crucial in epidemiological modeling studies and pandemic preparation. These studies have considered everything from social behavior and health policy to vaccination and the build-up of community immunity, also known as herd immunity. The threat posed by the current pandemic of COVID-19 could only decline when the population builds a stronger immunity and becomes less sensitive to the disease, or when a viable vaccine becomes available to the public, both of which could take a long time. Loosening the restrictions without sustaining social distancing and quality testing will increase the risk of people with low immunity being exposed to infected people, as well as those who may be asymptomatic carriers. It is therefore crucial that in order to lift the lockdown, mass testing should be carried out. Efficient quarantine measures and treatment should be in place for those people who test positive. For businesses to reopen, employees need to have a routine medical test. Governments need to regulate social gatherings at public places and scan people for symptoms regularly. And, of course, individuals should continue to follow social distancing guidelines and other preventative measures. Complying with these practices is the best way to contain the current outbreak and hopefully impede a second wave. Even though the government begins to lift the restrictions imposed, we will still need to be cautious and move into life after lockdown, one step at a time. The COVID-19 pandemic has infected millions and claimed the lives of hundreds and thousands of people worldwide. The outbreak of the virus began in China, in the city of Wuhan, and has been spreading across the globe, with the USA being the most affected country, followed by Italy and Spain, and the numbers just keep on increasing. Yes, this is very heartbreaking, but amidst the negativity, chaos, and threat to life, the coronavirus has brought some positives as well. The coronavirus has helped planet Earth to heal. In the recent past, global warming has led to severe changes in the climate due to the emissions of greenhouse gases in the atmosphere. The World Meteorological Organization marked the year 2019 with exceptional global heat, retreating ice, and sea levels driven by greenhouse gases from human activities. As per studies of the United Nations, 2019 was also considered the hottest year in human history. But in 2020, thanks to the coronavirus and its threat to human life, many countries have been forced to initiate lockdowns, shut industrial activities and transport facilities to curb the virus. As a result, pollution levels are dropping and the Earth is getting its desired time to heal. Seismologists around the world have noticed that there is less rumbling on the surface of the Earth. The drop in activity has made it easier for seismologists to pick up seismic signals from Earth's interior. Hence, they are now able to identify 5.5 magnitude earthquakes as well, which was a difficult task or almost impossible. The World Air Quality Index marked 21 cities in India among the 30 world's most polluted cities with air pollution. Delhi has shown improvement in air quality post-lockdown, from being unhealthy in 2019 to moderate in March to April 2020. Many countries have seen an approximate 30% improvement in air quality. China itself is emitting 25% fewer greenhouse gases since the past few weeks due to the lockdown. Agora think tank, one of Europe's leading energy policy think tanks, suggests that Germany's greenhouse gas emissions will be less than 40% this year compared to last year. Venice, one of the most populated tourist places normally bustling with people, is quiet and secluded. The waters in the canals too have become cleaner and clearer with the ban of boats. While the coronavirus has taken the lives of many, it has also awakened us to view the bigger picture. That each of us in our own ecosystem is a part of an interconnected system that we have the power to change. Every individual action can create a ripple effect to help heal the Earth's natural ecosystem. Yes, it is upon each one of us to maintain this balance. On that note, let us fight coronavirus together and make sure we heal along with our planet. Since the first case of COVID-19 emerged in December 2019, it has spread all over the world and has threatened the lives of millions of people. While it has been terrifying to see so many people suffer, it is of utmost importance to slow down the spread of this virus, for which people all over the world are practicing social distancing and isolation. While these steps are critical to stopping the spread of this disease, it has brought many changes in our normal day-to-day lives. Uncertainty, altered daily routines, and has brought financial pressures. These changes will undoubtedly have consequences on our mental health and well-being in both the short and long term. What are the different kinds of mental disorders? After the SARS outbreak in 2003, there were increased rates of anxiety, depression, and post-traumatic stress. And hence, in the context of COVID-19, there will be an increase in cases of depression, anxiety, and loneliness. Also, nervousness, sadness, anger, irritability, panic attacks, sleep disturbance, excessive worry, and feelings of helplessness are some other consequences people could face. Aggravating this is the probability of an economic slowdown, potential job losses, financial burden, and uncertainty about future possibilities. Why are we feeling stressed out, worried, or anxious? The reason isolation can take a big toll on our mental health is because it goes against the primal human social instinct to seek comfort in a larger group, whether it be family, friends, neighbours, or co-workers. Humans are wired to be social creatures, and that's how we cope when a big disaster happens. But in the case of the coronavirus, we're being told to cope with this by staying away from each other, and this is when the problems kick in. How do we deal with this? These problems are completely normal and expected given the global scenario, and it is quite possible that every individual in quarantine has felt like this at a certain time. What is important, however, is to not ignore these issues and recognize them, and then adopt coping mechanisms to reduce or completely eliminate them. Here are some coping strategies we can implement in order to improve our mental health, which can help us to take charge of our life. Get enough sleep. Go to bed and get up at the same time each day. Stick close to your typical schedule. Participate in regular physical activity. Regular physical activity and exercise can help reduce anxiety and is an essential component of improving both physical and mental health. So, follow a dance routine or workout tutorial and just get moving. Eat healthily. Choose a well-balanced, healthy diet. However tempted you may be to binge watch your favorite shows and finish all your unhealthy quarantine snacks, don't do it. Limit screen time. Turn off electronic devices for some time each day, including 30 minutes before bedtime. Make a conscious effort to spend less time in front of a screen, television, tablet, computer, and phone. Relax and recharge. Doing something positive to manage anxiety is a healthy coping strategy. Even a few minutes of quiet time can be refreshing and help to quiet your mind. Many people benefit from practices such as yoga or meditation. You can just soak in a bubble bath, listen to music, or read a book. Whatever works for you and helps you relax, practice it regularly. Stay busy. Look for a distraction that can get you away from the cycle of negative thoughts that feed anxiety and depression. Enjoy hobbies that you can do at home. Take a virtual class, start a craft project, or just clean out that closet you promised you'd get to. Limit exposure to news media. Constant news about COVID-19 from all types of media can heighten fears about the disease. Limit social media that may expose you to rumors and false information. Set priorities. Don't become overwhelmed by creating a life-changing list of things to achieve while you're home. Set reasonable goals each day and take steps to reach those goals. Social media can make you feel like part of a race. Do not get overwhelmed by others being more productive than you are, and give yourself credit for every step in the right direction, no matter how small, and recognize that some days will be better than others. Connect. This is the time of crisis, but we're in this together. Text or call to check on your friends, family members, and neighbors, especially those who are elderly. A quick hello can make someone's day a lot better. A simple gesture of kindness can make anyone happy and in turn can make you feel good too. Seek help. While these are some ways we can look after ourselves, remember that if you find your mental health deteriorating, it is best to turn to a mental health professional for the best help. So, until then, be patient and hope for a better tomorrow. Be safe and take care of your health and be sound, both mentally and physically. The coronavirus continues to spread rapidly across the globe. Many countries are exercising a lockdown. And as COVID-19 has taken over 2020, we are trying our best to fight it by staying home. Ever since the lockdown began, even though the essentials and medical supplies are available, people are hoarding food and panic buying. People tend to hoard food products and end up usually buying more than they will actually need. Have you ever wondered what the current scenario of panic buying food items and groceries can lead to? What can happen to our food supply? As many countries in the world are quarantined, the food distribution problems have arisen within weeks and may intensify over the following months, as the transportation of goods has been very difficult. Could this lead to a food crisis? No. If we work towards a proper distribution, we will not have a food crisis. There are certain practices we need to follow to avoid the same. 1. Support domestic production. Once the lockdown has eased, we must make an effort to support domestic production by buying local fruits and vegetables and helping the seasonal workers and farmers recover their income. 2. Don't panic buy. Shop thoughtfully. Some shoppers stockpile unnecessarily, leaving empty shelves for others in need and creating panic. Only buy what is needed and buy enough to use and not to stock. 3. Buy vegetables that have a long shelf life. Purchase onions, carrots, and potatoes that have a long shelf life and can last for more than 2 weeks. Store them in the freezer and enjoy them in crock-pot meals like stews and soups. 4. Be smart. Eat smart. Buy grains, lentils, and pulses. Store them well and consume them in different ways. It is okay if vegetables and fruits are not available. Eat pulses. They have a long shelf life. 5. Grow it yourself. Do you have a green thumb? Use it well then. Grow your own food in your backyard or garden at home. You can grow cucumbers, tomatoes, pepper, celery, and lots of greens. 6. And lastly, don't waste food. Every morsel counts. Every meal is important. Only cook as much as you can eat. Do not throw away any food. Staying positive and optimistic during times of crisis can be challenging. But remember, even when life seems bleak, there are things we still have for which we should be grateful. On that note, stay safe, be wise, compassionate, kind, and we will fight this through together. With the deadly outbreak of coronavirus, everyone is sharing basic preventative measures. Wear a mask, avoid physical contact, stay at home, and the most known and most effective one, wash your hands. That's right. But have you ever thought of how effective are hand sanitizers? Do they really kill germs? Can germs survive on a bar of soap? Can you fall sick using a bar of soap? Boom! Too many questions. How effective are hand sanitizers? Do they really kill germs? Hand sanitizers come in different varieties, such as gel, foam, and liquid-based. They're made of alcohol-based active ingredients, such as isopropanol or ethanol, and inactive ingredients such as glycerin and fragrances. A good hand sanitizer should have at least 60% alcohol content to kill germs effectively. But can hand sanitizers kill all kinds of germs? No, they cannot. Studies show that they can quickly reduce the number of microbes, but not eliminate all types of germs. They may not be able to remove harmful chemicals, pesticides, or heavy metals from hands. They're meant to be used directly on the surface of your skin without the use of water. After applying, you must rub it over your hands until they're dry. Yes, hand sanitizers can make your hands clean, but it won't necessarily keep you from getting sick. So, it is best to wash your hands properly with soap and water whenever you can. Now we come to the second part of our dilemma. Can germs survive on a bar of soap? Can you fall sick using a bar of soap? The primary purpose of soap is to clean your body, and so it does. When washing your hands with soap and water, the soap surely cleans your hands, but it does leave a deposit of germs on the bar of soap. These germs are mainly your own skin's microbiome and are not very harmful. But in some cases, when your body's immune system is compromised and is unable to fight against disease-causing invaders, you're at risk of infection even from your own skin flora. In this case, you could also get infected or pick up an illness if you share your soap with others. Sometimes the bacteria or germs on one's skin may not be harmful to them, but can be harmful to others. You could also transmit a virus like the common cold or flu via the bar. Sometimes the bar of soap is left wet and gets slimy, which can contribute to the growth of germs on the bar of soap. Hence, it is advisable to wet and lather the soap for about 35 seconds before using the same. Also, it is essential to keep the bar of soap dry between uses to ensure that all germs are killed. Besides, if you have a compromised immune system, then it is highly advisable to use a hand wash to avoid unnecessary contact with germs. That's all we have for you today. To summarize, wash or sanitize your hands correctly until dry. Stay away from germs, be healthy and wise. Be safe. There is definitely the growing panic of the coronavirus that the world is experiencing right now. But we're also getting used to dealing with this in our own way. Staying clean, maintaining proper hygiene, washing hands, and of course the most popular one, social distancing. Social distancing literally means physically distancing ourselves from others, which means avoiding handshakes and greeting people in any way that does not encourage touching. So, we don't shake hands. Then how could we use our hands to greet each other? Saluting? The peace sign? Waving hands? Taking a bow? Or a namaste? That's right, namaste, the most popular ever-growing hand gesture that seems to have replaced handshakes. The US President Donald Trump had tweeted about how he greeted the PM of Ireland with a namaste. President of France, Emmanuel Macron, decided to greet all his counterparts with a namaste too. In line with him is Prince Charles, who was seen greeting people with a namaste, which is now known as a precautionary measure against coronavirus. What does namaste mean? Derived from the Sanskrit language, namaste is formed by joining two words, namas and te. Namas means bow, adorations, and salutation, and te means to you. Therefore, the literal meaning of namaste is bowing to you. Namaste is the common greeting in yoga as well. It is a gesture to send a message of peaceful spirituality to the universe in the hopes of receiving a positive message back. Most say namaste also as a means to thank their teacher or to use it as an expression of relief. Namaste is also used to seek forgiveness and is a polite way of accepting wrongdoing or asking for an apology. How to make the Namaste gesture? It's quite simple. Bring both hands together, center your palms in the middle of your body with your elbows out. Both of your arms should be a perfect mirror of one another. Hold your fingers together. Make a small motion to bow while saying Namaste. Eyes should be closed and no objects should be placed in the hands while gesturing. There you go. And a perfect Namaste is ready. But yes, of course, it's complete with a smile. So, avoid handshakes, hugs, and all the unnecessary touching that is either awkward or seemingly unhealthy from the social distancing point of view. The lack of physical contact can actually help create an even more positive aura, and it decreases the chance of passing negativity. Stay indoors, stay safe, and until then, Namaste. Imagine, it's past breakfast time, your stomach's making noises out of hunger, and that toast is burning, while you are talking to your boss or colleague solving a work problem. Imagine you are working sleepless nights and yet you can't figure a way out to complete your project. Imagine your productivity is affected because you just cannot figure out where to start from and where to end while you're working from home. Scary, isn't it? Well, we'll help you simplify. With all the fear of the outbreak of coronavirus, many are asked to stay home and work from home. But is working from home stressful? What can you do to make this process effective and more productive? You curious? We have the answers. Here are a few tips to help you develop an effective routine to work from home. Early to rise can help you organize. Waking up late can disturb your entire day's routine, and then rushing towards completing it can only add to your anxiety. And worst of all, you'll make mistakes. Starting work early is very helpful, and utilizing that time of commuting into planning and organizing your day instead is the best way you can start your day while working from home. Change and arrange. Well, you're not really going to work or your office, but it's best to clean, take a shower, drink coffee, and get dressed into something comfortable, getting ready for work.
Yes.
Change of clothes can always help you focus on the fact that you have changed your phase of being at home with ease to now getting to work, as though in an office setup. It's best you also arrange and set up your work from home desk, or that corner where you're going to sit and claim it as your work zone. Where there's a plan for the day, there's always a way. Start with the plan for a day, a to-do list. Set a target for yourself. Do the highest priority work first. Plan your day according to your natural cycle. Keep the most difficult task for the day when you have the most energy to do it. Every distraction has an equal and opposite reaction. That's right. So, don't get distracted. Just because you're not working from your office does not mean you're supposed to get distracted. Set boundaries around your working area and timings. This means setting boundaries for your pets, kids, spouses, or roommates, and also your friends. Set some rules. Make sure you tell everyone else around to not disturb you as you need no distraction. Try to encourage them to leave you alone while you focus better and finish your work. For heaven's sake, take a break. Working from home could get pretty overwhelming. You don't want to burn yourself out. Doing too much is not good for sure. So please take a break, drink some coffee, rest your eyes, your back. Listen to some relaxing music and grab a healthy snack.
Yum!
A good break will help you reset, and you'll be able to tackle the next chunk of tasks better. Don't be crazy, call them maybe. While working from home, coordinating with your team can get really stressful. Use technology to connect well. Write as many elaborate emails as you can. The more the details, the better the conveying of your message. It is recommended to do video calls as well, as seeing someone always helps build that human connection when needed. So do schedule calls and meetings online. There you go. You follow these tips and you'll be good. Stay home, stay safe, stay healthy, and until then, keep watching, YouCurious.